I formally welcome you all in today's lecture. So we continue our lecture uh, over the module number 4 that consists of instrument transformer and the potentiometers. So the first two lectures we were dedicated to instrument transformers, that is the principle and operations of the potential transformer, or in other words, you can say voltage transformer, then followed by the current transformers, and combinedly you can form a measure the power or the energy for a stipulated duration of time also. And we have seen that what circumstances you should apply the instrument transformers and what are its advantage and what are the special precautions you need to take. Now today we will initiate our discussion over the second half module of the module number 4, that is the potentiometers. Under the head of potentiometers, we are going to see the uh, need of a potentiometer when you have a different kind of variety of deflection methods are available, right from the permanent magnet moving coil, which is based on the fundamental objective arsenal meters, okay, and the moving iron type instruments, the electrodynamometer, electrostatic instruments, rectifiers, okay, thermal measurements, okay, electrothermal measurements. So the variety of schemes are available with you, and still why you need the potentiometers. What is the uniqueness of the potentiometer? So we got to understand one thing, that primarily potentiometers are normally used for measuring very low resistances, okay? Or you can say some low to medium value of resistances. Primarily the low value, the deflection of the current or in proportion to the resistances. So how does it works? You might have already studied under the head of your inter-science syllabus. So let me just brush up you the basic fundamentals of the potentiometers. It is an instrument which is primarily used for measuring the potential difference. So potential difference across what? So potential difference across a known resistance, okay, or between two terminals of a circuit or a network, okay, of that particular circuit, okay, or for the known characteristics, okay. So the characteristic is known to you in advance. This is primarily used for comparing the electromotive force of the two different cells. So when you are comparing those, one is the reference, which is from the source, which comes from the source, and that is normally known to you in advance. So another EMF is the unknown, which is unknown in parallel to the equal amount of the resistances, okay, some resistances. And by finding the ratio of the two, you will be able to calculate the unknown value of the resistances or the unknown value of the voltage. Yeah? Because what do you mean by unknown value of resistance? So here unknown value of resistance is nothing but it is the some fractional value of the total resistance. So that fractional value, or in other words, you can say it is a variable resistance or rheostat. In laboratory, you might have seen the rheostat. So rheostat is nothing but it is used to set the scale of the parameter in the secondary side to fix up the fractional value of resistance of the total resistance. Now from the source side, the source available voltage is known. So with respect to the fractional amount of resistance, okay, there is some voltage which will appear across the terminal of the circuit or network, which is actually unknown. So with the help of that, you will be able to calculate it. Clear? Now, what are the importance of doing so? Primarily, there are three major distinguishable advantages. Okay, that is number one, to ensure the high degree of accuracy during the measure. What do you mean by it? So when you are using deflection type of machines or instruments, there what happened primarily your deflection coil or your pointer is moved to calculate the unknown value of the current or voltage or the resistance. And because of this mechanical inertia or because of this physical inertia, it always compromises with the accuracy of the measurement. Now in this case what happened? Potentiometer, the unknown voltage is compared with the known voltage, and known voltage is the source voltage which is already known. Okay, rather than, so this unknown voltage is compared with the known source voltage rather than comparing with the actual deflection of the pointer. And this activity not only very simple to handle as a layman, but also ensures a very high degree of accuracy. Followed by, in this measurement, normally the potentiometer is used only when the null or balance condition is achieved. Now this null and balance condition you can achieve with the help of using a d-arseniometer or galvanometer. Now once the null or balance condition is achieved, then and only we do the measurement. Now to achieve the null and balance condition, you don't require any power. So in other words, you can say there is no power requirement for the to pursue the measurement. What can be better than this? That the what measurement you are pursuing, that is a very high degree of accuracy, that attains very high degree of accuracy of the results. Okay, by investing zero power, right? Further, the determination of voltage using the potentiometer is quite independent of the source resistance. So it is independent from the source resistance. Why? Because normally that source resistance is very small. So that's why it is, you can say that it's quite independent. Remember, noted, it is not, no one can, but it is quite independent. So very less influence of the resistance, negligible, required no power of measurement, and also can give you attain the high degree of accuracy during the measurement. So this is the sliding mode contact, as you can see. Okay, so there is a one unknown EMF of one switch is used where the two options are there. Operate, that means to connect. Whenever the switch is connected in the upper mode, we are going to find out the unknown value of EMF, for example E1 or E2 with respect to the total voltage. Clear? And another thing is that standard cell. So standard cell is basically used to calibrate the potentiometer before going to use it, so that it can give you the high degree of accuracy. Okay. Purpose of rheostat is already known to you. It's a variable resistance, nothing else. And the battery. So from the battery or supply source, you know the source voltage, which is already known to you. By doing this particular arrangement, what we do first, we connect the switch to the calibrate mode. Using the standard cell, we try to achieve the null balance condition and set the parameter value at 0. Okay, so that there should not be any influence of the external environment and as well as the source voltage. And then we apply to the unknown EMF, and then we, for example, try to find out the values. So say for example, if the total distance is d between 0 to 200 centimeter as shown in this example, and the effective distance which is covered under the head of E1 or E2, say between point A and C, is equal to E2 or small d. So in that case, the total ratio is source voltage Vs upon unknown voltage, that is Vx. Okay, or E1 you can say, it is known. Okay, is equal to, so E1, remember, your is under the measurement which is required to find out. Okay, across the unknown EMF is equal to total distance d. So with respect to total distance d, total voltage is known, and upon small distance d, which is equal to the E2. So the rest of the three parameters are known, and that is how you are able to calculate the unknown value of the voltage. So that is how the basic potentiometer circuits works. Okay. After the calibrating is, or after the standardizing, you can later on. That's why it is mentioned at TC potentiometer. Sorry. Later on, the Crompton is an inventor who has actually introduced a new configuration where you can also measure the fractional value of the unknown voltage with the high degree of accuracy up to first decimal point. So it has slightly modified the original standard circuit. Okay, fundamentally both are the same. The only difference, the tactical difference is that the sliding contact is reversed as the cyclic contact with the multiple switches. Okay. So now you remember that you have a dial switches, you have a circular slide switches. So one value is known, unknown, and another is the unknown. Total source voltage with respect to the battery is already known, and due to this particular sliding mode, okay, the total distance you have recovered with respect to the resistance is also known to you. So that is how you will be able to calculate the unknown value of voltage. Okay. So by doing this configuration, what are the advantage you will get? Your machine becomes very compact, and it offers you the measurement of the unknown voltage up to the first decimal point, that is the fractional value with the accuracy, okay, without compromising the need of other requirements. So these are the certain steps which it has given. So I would advise you to follow the procedure for the measurement of unknown EMF, okay, and you apply it whenever you got the opportunities. Now you have so many platforms available. You can use some simulation platform available on the internet free of cost. There are many platforms available and you can simulate it. If you got an idea about the MATLAB platform, you can use the MATLAB Simulink platform and do this particular simulation and try to find out the bug. I would encourage you to do this kind of exercise, particularly during this COVID pandemic, or what in day-to-day life people call Chinese virus. So because of this, we're already logged in your house. So obviously the laboratory environment is the best possible way to visualize these kind of scenarios or experimentation. But in lieu of that, I would advise you to use some kind of simulation platform to visualize your configuration. Follow these steps and it will be help you to give the not only standardize the Crompton DC potentiometer, which is the modification of the standard DC potentiometer, but it will also give you the unknown value of the voltage, DC voltage, with a high degree of accuracy. Okay. Now, what are the applications of the DC potentiometers? Obviously, with the help of DC potentiometers, if you can measure the voltage, particularly the high voltage, okay, we can measure the current as well. We can measure the resistance also. So current and voltage, if you can measure, so obviously you can measure the power also. And not only this, the potentiometers are also used to calibrate the voltmeters, ammeters, or wattmeter under the vision. So it can be used as a secondary standard tool. It is not the exactly secondary standard tool, but in laboratory environment it is very handy because you don't require very sophisticated facilities to have the secondary standard tools, and that is how you will be able to measure the or calibrate the voltmeters, ammeter, or wattmeter under the measurement to find out the unknown value of voltage, current, or so let us see some applications how you can use this potentiometer for the measurement of current, voltage, and power, and how you can calibrate it under the aid of today's lecture. So as you can see in this demonstration, as it is mentioned in figure number 5.3, a rheostat is there which is providing you the variable resistance in this sliding mode. DC power supply, so across the DC power supply voltage is already known. Standard registers is there. Remember, it is mentioned standard registers. Okay, so standard registers give you very high accurate value of the resistances. Here, if it is not there, then you can use some available resistances in your laboratories, so with across the potentiometer. Okay, so because across the standard resistance, your purpose is to measure the current which is flowing through this tensiometer coil. So what do you need? Voltage drop across the resistance, okay, and the value of R. So remember the value of R is already known to you across the standard resistance. Okay, voltage drop across the resistance is you can be calculated. Okay, the approach I have been already told you how you can measure that Vx, that is the unknown value of voltage drop across the resistance by varying the resistance. If you decreasing the value of resistance, so obviously the proportionally the voltage is reducing. If you are increasing the resistance, proportionally the voltage is also increasing. Okay. Now, with the help of this, So numerator is known, denominator is already known to you. So you can find out the unknown value of the current. That is a very simple configuration with the potentiometer you can use. Now, if you want to use very high value of current, or in other words, very high value of voltage, I would say. So what you need to do that modify this configuration in such a way that you convert a voltage ratio box. Okay, remember, now we talk about the measurement of high voltage. Yeah. So in this junction box or the voltage ratio box, what happened? You are basically integrated, or it is nothing but it is a cascade combination of number of potential divider circuits. Okay, where each potential divider circuit providing you an option of the variable resistance. So in the right hand side, you will be able to check to the potentiometer it is indicated. So it will be able to give you the exactly known value of resistance where the pointer is set, where the rheostat pointer is set. So for example, it is now set at across the 100 ohm. So across the 100 ohm, the unknown value of voltage it will give you. On the other end, in the source side, it is a very high voltage which is under the measurement. Clear? Now that is you can say that it is equal to Vx. Now across the 200, across 100, that means that voltage is actually is a multiplier circuit. Okay. So it being multiplied by that many times. So that's how it is able to convert from 3 volt to 300 volt. For an example, it can be even 3 kilowatt, it can be even 33 kilovolt also. So with the help of this particular arrangement, what you can do, you can simply reconfigure your ratio and you will be able to calculate the unknown value of the. Let's see. We noted here that as I told you that in voltage ratio box, okay, V is particularly under the measurement capital V, and a small v which is the voltage measure or measured by the potentiometer. So this value is this right hand side is this value is already known to you. So this value is known, ratio is already known to you. That means this whole ratio upon this. So this ratio is known to you. This voltage is known. So you will be able to calculate this left hand side. Yes or no? Yes. Yeah. So that is the simple fundamental we use. Now let's see the measurement of resistance by the potentiometer, how you can do this. That is the measurement of resistance. So first see the circuitry. So what you do that you have provided a stabilized DC supply because you are going to measure the resistance. Remember, you have to make sure that there should not be any variation in the voltage. What you see in your distribution network in your our local life, okay, that is the Tata Power of the western area or the eastern area. If that kind of supply you will provide, then God knows that what value of accuracy you will get. So remember, it is a very stabilized DC supply, sophisticated. And then the standard cell resistance is already known to you. Unknown the resistance which is under the measurement. So if you are going to able to calculate the potential drop across the unknown value of resistance, which is the fraction of the total resistance, you will be able to calculate that ratio or not? Yes. So what you do, the voltage under the that particular resistance VR, this is you are supposed to calculate. This VR is equal to I into R. Okay, so that's how you can calculate. I is already known to you from here, and okay, and the R is already under the measurement. This V is already known to you. Okay, so VR you can calculate. Now from the standard resistance, this VC, you can calculate this configuration again. Call it again. Okay, and in that particular case, what it will be done that across the supply uh, voltage, across the supply voltage, you will be sorry, voltage across the standard resistor, I would say. Okay, so VS stands for standard resistor, let's say, is equal to, you will be able to calculate that I into S. So remember, S is again the value of a resistance. So S is the amount of resistance across the standard resistor. R is the amount of resistance across the unknown value of resistance. Okay. So remember, the left hand side is already known to you. Okay. So what you will of this particular equation number one, and in equation number two, you will be able to calculate the value of S, which is known to you. R is unknown, I is known, Vs is known, Vr is known. So do the ratio of 1 upon 2. So what you will be able to calculate, R is equal to Vr by Vs into S. So that's how you will be able to calculate the unknown value of resistance very accurately, because the value of standard resistance S is already known to you. Okay. Please be noted. that these kind of arrangements are primarily used to measure the low value of resistances. Because the medium resistances, you have a different deflection schemes are available from the low to medium values. And for the high resistance, I have been already told you, you can use the earth measurement and other schemes we have been already discussed, which is used for the high resistance measurement using the makers. So that's how you will be able to calculate the unknown value of the resistance. So what you will do about the power? So in case of power, you need two things, current and voltage. So we will be able to using this standard arrangements. Okay, so it is nothing but the combination of the voltage box ratio. So voltage ratio box will give you the unknown value of the resistance. This current arrangement, this left hand side arrangement will give you the value of the current I, which is under the measurement. So the load current I is equal to Vs by S. As you can see, S is the total amount of resistance of the standard resistance. So Vs by S, the load current is now known. Okay. Now from the VL, which is nothing but it is the some fractional value of the total resistance VR. Okay. So let's say some value. Okay. So this value you can calculate, and then the power amount of power consumed across that particular voltage ratio box, which is given by the VL into I. Now VL is equal to nothing but it is K times of K is some fractional value, K times of the VR, which is known to you. So from there we can calculate VL, and I is calculated from the Vs by S, where S is the total amount of the standard resistors, and Vs is also known to you, that is the source resistance you can say, or the voltage across, sorry, source voltage or the across voltage across the standard cell. Clear? So that's how you will be able to the power amount of power consumed by the using the potential. Now let's say a very interesting thing, how you can do the calibration of these measurements. Clear? So to do pursue your measurements, calibrations, okay, what you need to do that in case of you wanted to calibrate the uh, voltmeter, you can say that the main requirement is to provide you the suitable stable supply of the DC voltage, that you have to make sure with the help of your proper arrangement as it is shown in figure. Otherwise what happened, the change in supply voltage will also affect the performance of the measurement, or it will also affect the cause of a change in the calibration process of. So the biggest requirement is the provide a suitable arrangement so that you can ensure a stable supply of the DC voltage. Okay. Calibration of the voltmeter arrangement. So I would advise you to go through this theoretical statements, and it will help you to give you that how you can calibrate the ammeter arrangement. As you can see that with the help of, as compared to the voltmeter arrangement, there is a slight modification because voltage is measured across the under the measurement, and the current is in this series, ammeter is connected in series. So ammeter is connected with respect to the standard resistance is connected in series, okay, to this course adjustment. So course adjustment is nothing but it is again a variable resistances rheostat form, and which is connected to a fine adjustment, okay, which is nothing but a very high accurate adjustment reading or another variable resistance which is connected to the stable DC supply. This arrangement is done is provided primarily to give you the stable supply of the voltage and therefore the current. So now the current is measured under the head of this ratio, that is Vs by S, and once this particular value is known, as the resistance of the standard resistors is exactly known, so the current through this particular standard resistors S, okay, which is indicating to the potentiometer, is can be exactly calculated. So this method will help you to calibrate the ammeters very accurately. Okay. Let's see how we can calibrate the wattmeter. So for wattmeter, what you need to do, you required a voltage junction box or voltage ratio box, which will give you the voltage, unknown value of voltage, and that voltage you know that has to be calculated across the potential coil of the wattmeter. On the other hand, the current coil will ensure the supply of the current, or that is the unknown value of, that is the known value of the current, by placing the proper arrangement of the ammeter using the standard resistors. Clear? So a high voltage supply is make sure is able to under the measurement and using the potential divider circuit. In the potential divider circuit, right hand side you will get the fractional value of the voltage of the unknown value of the high voltage which is under the measurement. Okay, and this arrangement is connected through the pressure coil or the potential coil through the voltage junction ratio. Okay, and with the help of this you will be able to first calibrate this voltage uh, voltmeter which is under the measurement, and then with the help of pressure coil you will be able to calculate that unknown value of the voltage from the high voltage side. On the other hand, as far as the current is concerned, it is ensured by a low voltage supply because high current, low voltage. Remember, okay? So this high current supply is connected through that standard switch using the selector switch through the current coil CC, you can say, of the wattmeter arrangement, where the standard resistor is connected in right hand side and the emitter is connected in series to the rheostat or variable resistance which is under the measurement. So that's how you will be able to calibrate the emitter, you will be able to calibrate the voltmeter, and therefore once you have done the calibration of the voltmeter and emitter, you will be able to measure the true power. Remember, it's not an average power. Be noted that it will give you the true power. True power means the RMS value of the power. Okay, is uh, is equal to VI, where the V is the voltage across the potential coil and I is the current coil through that particular wattmeter configurations. Okay, so if it is a DC arrangement, then you say that what is the value of RMS value of power. So that means it is the arrangement is done in such a way that you will be able to accurately measure the voltage, accurately measure the current, and not only that, you will be able to calibrate the voltmeter which is under the measurement. You will be able to calibrate the current which ammeter which is under the measurement for the unknown value of the current, and that's how you will be able to calibrate the wattmeter for the measurement of power using a potentiometer. Okay. So in the next lecture, we are going to consider the classifications of these voltmeters. We will sorry, classification of the potentiometers. We will consider that how using potentiometer, how you can dedicatedly measure the DC values of the voltage, current, and power, and similarly the AC values of the RMS value of the voltage, current, and power using the these arrangements we will discuss in the next lecture. The lecture time and the hour I will be deciding and inform you shortly by the evening. Till then, if you have any doubt, you can discuss with me. Otherwise, you can discuss.